Hello, N4HNH here with the Yaesu FT-991A receiving CW here. There's a contest going on this weekend. So there are a lot of stations stacked up in here in the 160 meter band. Okay, so conditions are, I've got digital noise reduction maxed out. The width is at 100 hertz. And not using contour at the moment. I am using APF, and it's set at 0. Audio peak filter, see what it does? Now, it's adjustable in 10 hertz increments in case somebody's a little off frequency, but what I did here was, I'll leave it off for a second. I'll show you what I did. I used the Zen 0N. Let me move it off a little bit. Watch this. I want my tone to be 600 hertz. So it makes an adjustment to the VFO to give me the 600 hertz side tone in case the station is not dead on frequency. So now I'm not even using APF. Now you can hear the other stations, but see, they're not dead on frequency with him. Okay, let's go over to the I do have attenuation kicked in and IPO on because these stations are so strong. Now over here to the ICOM IC-7300. Filter width here 100. Take it down to 50. And somebody in there tuning. So when you tighten up the filter a little bit, you lose a little bit of that ring, which is good. But I've got it down to 50. Boy, I wish whoever that is would quit. Okay, and let me turn the attenuator on. So like I've mentioned before in previous videos, filter ring, or ripple as it's called, that's the result of the skirts of the filter, which they give you a visual of here on the ICOM. And the more signal you push through that filter, the more of that ring or ripple you're going to get. So, use such things as attenuation, IPO, don't run a preamp in the case of this radio, and RF gain to clean that up. Especially on a strong signal like his. I'll turn the attenuator off. Okay, now go back over to the Yaesu. I'm going to turn the attenuator off. So we're getting some of the filter ring now because I'm driving so much more signal through there. Now another approach to this is to turn your RF gain back when you've got a signal that strong. Hear that? just turned him into a code practice oscillator. But again, you can leave the RF gain up and engage an attenuator, because on this low band you do not need, not only do you not need your RF amplifier, so I've turned IPO on, which again in Yaesu speak means turn off the RF amp. We don't need as much sensitivity on these lower frequencies. But I've also turned on the attenuator to further knock the incoming signal down that's coming into the front end of the receiver. Now we'll go back over to the ICOM. And I'm going to do the notch trick. It doesn't give you a frequency readout, but I'm using the notch filter to knock out that ring from the skirt of the filter. Watch this. So now you'll reach the point where you're going to knock out your side tone, so you back off a little bit. So you see how the notch filter has knocked out most of that filter ring. But again, let me reiterate, the reason you're getting the filter ring is because, turning the notch filter off now, because you're just driving so much signal through that filter. So here we go. Now I've turned the notch off, but attenuator on, no preamp. Now I'm rolling the RF gain back. There you go. 7300 is doing a good job with CW. For those of you who have a 7300, if you're not into CW, I believe the CW is the better part of this radio's function as far as, CW versus sideband. In the previous videos you saw the sideband, just the sensitivity's there, but the DSP is not able to clean up weak signals. The Yaesu radios win on that. In CW, we can clean it up pretty well. Listen to that. Let me show you another approach with an ICOM. When you take when you turn the RF gain knob, which is also the squelch knob, to 12 o'clock, it's doing neither. When you turn it to the left, it's an RF gain. When you turn it to the right, it's a squelch. Watch this. See that little arrow moving? Now we hear absolutely nothing until he sends. That's a really great feature on this radio when you're working someone who's not down at the noise level strong like that. Hey, listen to that. Talk about a code practice oscillator. So again, if you own a 7300 and you're not into CW, I encourage you to get into it because the radio does a great job on CW. Alright, now let's go back over to the FT-991. So I'm not using squelch on the FT-991A, that is. This is an FT-991A, the improved version. Mainly I'll show you what improved. The waterfall. So again, no squelch engage here, but we do have the attenuator. Okay, let's throw the FTdx5000 into the mix. Focus that. Now the FTdx5000, this little indicator right here, that's when it's centered up on that red line, that lets me know that I'm receiving at the side, I'm receiving the station I'm listening to at the precise frequency in order to generate the side tone I want. You see it bumping up there, and we hear that? Now we're centered up on this guy. Okay, let's go to him on the other two radios. He's at 8.9. That's the 5000. Now I'll go to the 7300. And let's see, 145.89. Again, using the squelch on the 7300. Great feature. Yaesu squelch, I don't like their squelch. It's what I call a hard knee squelch, where it rolls over. That point where it rolls over is very hard and not gentle. The squelch on an ICOM is a soft knee and works very well for the ramp up, ramp down of the signal there. Boy, listen to that. Isn't that nice? Again, now the bandwidth is on 50. I had the bandwidth on 100 over there on the Yaesu. Let's go to 100. Well, see, with the squelch you can't tell. Let me turn the squelch off. See, this is where the ICOM is so popular. It's that screen. They do a great job with the visuals. But as you saw in the earlier video, this radio is weak when it comes to sideband reception of weak signals. But here on CW, I think it's a better CW radio than sideband, no question. So if you have one of these and you don't do CW, you're missing out. Again, rolling the squelch. You know, the little white line basically is saying squelch everything that doesn't run past that line. So now I'm saying squelch everything that's S7 or below. I went too far. There we go. So again, quiet, quiet. Now we'll go back over to the Yaesu. And by the way, I checked the reference oscillator of the Yaesu with WWV a little bit ago, and it's dead on frequency as well. It was only 1 hertz off. And again, not using squelch here. Now, I could accomplish a very similar thing without even going into the squelch of this radio, but I'm going to go ahead and I could do it with RF gain, but I want to go ahead and go into the squelch. Hear that? Hear that popping sound? That's the hard knee squelch. Don't like that. But it's okay, I don't really use a squelch anyway. Because on the Yaesu rigs, I generally just go to the RF gain. Now on the Yaesu, notice the S meter, as you roll it left, you're you're saying, hey, I don't want to hear a signal that's not above wherever the S meter is. Similar to how the squelch was over there on the ICOM. See how that knocks that noise floor down? And now we have a code practice oscillator over here on the ICOM, or Yaesu. All three of these radios, I'll tell you, all three of these radios are great on CW. Here's the 5000. Again, on the 5000, I could go over here and do the notch. So I'm listening at a 600 hertz side tone, so I'm using the manual notch to notch out the filter ring. But again, I've already, on the Yaesu, I've got IPO turned on, and I'm running VRF, which is a variable pre-selector. And I'll show you on the scope what that's doing. Let me turn it off. See, now what you're seeing on the left over here, that's AM, whoops, I hit my BFO. That is the AM broadcast band, AM radio. And that's coming in the front of my receiver. I don't want to hear all that. In the middle here, this is all that CW that's going on right now on 160 meters. Now, so by turning on this VRF, variable RF, which is a variable pre-selector, and this is the one built into the radio. There is one that you can buy for external use that's even tighter than this, but did you see what happened to the AM broadcast? Let me turn it off again. See the AM broadcast? Turned on the VRF. So it's tightening the front end of the receiver to where I'm not going to get as much of that AM broadcast into the front end of my receiver. And it does attenuate just a little bit, but that's okay. I don't need extra sensitivity anyway. 50 hertz, APF's on. Turn APF off so you can hear. Again, don't have the RF gain kicked in yet, but here we go. All three radios quite capable on CW. Love that old-timey meter, right? The Arsenval movement's what that's called. The Arsenval. D apostrophe capital A R S O N V A L. It's called the Arsenval movement. This may be the last radio that includes one of those. All the newer radios have fake needle meters. Okay, so that's using RF gain, and then here's squelch right here. Here we go. You can hear that hard knee on the Yaesu squelch. So I don't use a lot of Yaesu squelches. By the way, even the Yaesu FT-991A over here, this is an 80 watt, doesn't require a fan, 2 meter radio I use for a base station. Same thing here. It's a hard knee squelch. I like the one on my ICOM mobile, my 880H, ID880H, which has the soft knee squelch, so it just gently comes in and out. You don't have that hard breakover point. So, oh, this video is getting long, but I'm having fun here with these three. All three of these radios are just so capable on CW. But you know, since the Yaesus do well on sideband, I'd have to favor the Yaesus if I was going to try to pick a rig, because I also want to be able to do sideband. And all three are quite capable here on CW. Back over to the 7300. Using the squelch. And again, I could do it with the RF gain. So I hope you enjoyed that. You know, just, man, these radios today are just amazing. I think sometimes what would Marconi have thought if he had seen where, you know, radio went from the, you know, after the days of the spark gap transmitters. Okay, back over to the FT-991, which is also using RF gain to make it sound like a code practice oscillator. Yeah, these are just great radios. You're living in a great time here for purchasing ham radios, and the cost of them, for the amount of technology you're getting in these radios today, the cost is quite reasonable. I think this radio probably is somewhere retailing around $11.50, maybe $12.50, something like that. This one is retailing at about, I believe, around $1,100. But I think there's a discount on it right now, a mail-in rebate, pulls it down to $1,000. It does not do 2 meters and 70 centimeters. That one does. So you can hit your repeaters, check into your nets, everything with that one. Also work HF. Of course, this one is HF only as well. But all right, this is N4H&H, and I want to thank my Patreons for helping keep this channel going, and I hope you learn more about your radios by watching my channel. I'm all about operating under, you know, just listening to whatever's out there on the air and seeing what features on these radios we can use to clean it up and make it more readable without hearing all the grind. So if you enjoy that, I would appreciate it if you would consider becoming a Patreon. You can go to www.patreon.com/N4HNH. That's patreon.com/N4HNH. And hey, like the video and subscribe. You'll be notified when I upload another video. Thanks a lot for watching, and 73 from N4HNH.